News Radio 840 WHAS coming up on today's Louisville Real Estate Show. Before you make that massive final decision, could a 401k loan be the perfect solution for your down payment, or is it a hidden trap that could derail your retirement dreams? Manny wants to know that. He's one of our listeners, and the answer might surprise you. Plus, a listener's shocking encounter. She opens her front door and found a loose dog and its owner acting carelessly. What are your rights, and what can you do about off-leash dogs in your neighborhood, especially with kids and other dogs around? And as the days get shorter, you need to know this. Easy, essential steps to bulletproof your home against break-ins this fall in winter. It's all coming up next on News Radio 840 WHAS, the Louisville Real Estate Show. And congratulations. If you're here listening right now, you remembered to set your clocks back last night. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Sokoler. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we got a packed show. Reminder, Fed actually lowered interest rates again by 25 basis points. It doesn't necessarily affect long-term rates, but it will have an impact on credit cards and also loans and savings accounts. So just a heads up that that's happening, and we'll see the impact on that and more in months to come. Let's introduce the folks who are going to be here for the next half hour. Chuck Crosby, he's the head of the Crosby Law Offices. They do real estate closings and wills and living wills and healthcare surrogates and a variety of other things. You can reach Chuck anytime on his phone, and the number is 499-6360. Also here, Randy Rocky, co-owner of Swan Financial. They shop the loan to get you the very best rate, and you can reach Randy and find out what the rate is whenever you're ready at 645-0736. And I'm Bob Sokoler, owner of the Sokoler team, Remax Properties East. If you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, all you need to do is call me anytime, free, no obligation, no home too big, no home too small. You can reach me on my cell phone, 502-376-5483. That's 376 live, or go to bobsellslouisville.com and click submit. And then if you want to get a free estimate of what your home is worth, go to WeSellLouisville.com and click on the top of the page and fill that out. Let's go to Chuck Crosby to start things off with this email that came in from Jean. She opened her front door to her house in her neighborhood to find a man walking on the sidewalk with a pit bull behind him, and the pit bull was not on a leash. And she is wondering what can be done, what should be done to prevent dogs walking without being on a leash, and more importantly, if a pit bull that could have hurt one of the kids in the neighborhood. Again, any dog could hurt one of the kids in the neighborhood. I watched Judge Judy. If you ever watch her on TV, she is an anti-pit bull person, but this just scared Jean. So let's go, Chuck. What do you think? What can be done at this point?
Well, at this point, you have to take care of yourself, obviously. Don't go throwing pork chops at the dog and taunting it kind of thing. But you actually call animal control. Animal control is out there. They have a number, 473-PETS, P-E-T-S. You can call that. They come in, they enforce the rules. I see misdemeanor files on CourtNet fairly regularly, looking through that. So they actually do things. And if you know who the person is and they're letting their dog walk without a leash, well, 473-PETS is the place to go.
What if you don't know the person? If somebody's walking through the neighborhood, you don't want to confront that person or the dog,
you don't
obviously.
Want to do that.
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
simple,
afraid. Yeah.
But what do you?
What
Is there anything? Could you call police and say?
You could, but I'm betting the police will probably tell you to call animal control because that's more their bailiwick.
Yeah.
I imagine if there's a cop in the neighborhood, perhaps that might they might show up. But I think they try and keep those functions separate. But, like I said, they do actually enforce leash laws and things of that nature. And also it's not just pit bulls. Saw where a dog, a beautiful golden retriever.
Yeah.
Everybody's icon of friendly dog, ran up to an elderly man who was not ready for this 60-pound dog to jump up on him, knocked him over, broke his hip, and then things progressed from there.
Yeah.
So it's good to keep your pets on a leash.
No, and that's a really good point. My mother-in-law, Betty, stays with us a lot. We've got two big German shepherds. Now, they're kind and they're gentle, but they wag their tails, and that can take her down.
Exactly.
In her late 80s, yeah.
And while I am completely unconvinced as to pit bulls being dangerous, I love the dogs. I love all animals, but
Yeah.
they are a large animal. And any friendly large animal is going to be able to knock over, say, my mother.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful.
Yeah. Good point.
Every morning when I walk my dog, we walk by Mom's house. Mom will come out, and my pug, who weighs a whole 20 pounds, will run at her. And it's like I'm always thinking, oh no, my poor Victoria is going to kill my mom.
Oh, no,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
By the way, if you want to see a rebroadcast and listen to the show and see it, in fact, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a redirect to this radio show and others that we've done. And by the way, if you just want to see some of the questions, we've got more than 450 questions, video questions and answers. You can go to LouisvilleQuestions.com. So LouisvilleAnswers.com for the show, LouisvilleQuestions.com for the individual questions. All right. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Mandy says she listens to our show all the time. Thanks, Mandy. She's asking an unusual question, but I think a lot of our listeners may wonder about the same thing, so let's bring it up. She says, can I take a loan from my retirement account, a 401k, for a down payment, and will the underwriter consider it a debt that she has to repay? Randy?
In most scenarios, you can, and it is not a debt. The good thing is you can replenish it in a certain amount of time, and there's not a prepayment. I mean, there's not a penalty at all. There are a lot of my clients that use their 401k for a down payment, and it's a great option. In almost all scenarios, you can, and the repayment is usually pretty reasonable. They give you like 3 years to get the money back in, and if you don't, I think there's a small penalty, but it just depends on who is handling the 401k. But it is only for housing, is what I understand. You can't do it for almost any other emergency besides buying a house. You can pull it out of your 401k without basically a penalty in most situations.
Yep, and I'm actually checking with Gemini, which is like a chat GPT. I thought I could come up with a quick answer. I can't. I would tell you to check, Mandy, also with your accountant or tax advisor.
Yes. Well, your human, and your HR director is the one that usually helps you with that as well.
Yep. All right, good information. If you'd like to see what some of our sellers are saying about the Sokoler team, we're extremely proud of the reviews we get. Go to LouisvilleZillow.com or LouisvilleGoogle.com, and you can read what people have said about us. We're very proud. Over to Chuck Crosby Law Office. Arnold writing in. He's a cosigner on a mortgage for his lifelong friend Celeste. He asks if the cosigner dies, if Celeste passes away, is the loan paid off, or is Arnold on the hook to repay the entire loan?
All right. So Celeste is the buyer.
Yeah, I think this is already in the past. So he already signed for Celeste.
He already signed for Celeste, so Celeste could buy the house.
Right.
Yeah. When you co-sign a loan, and I'm presuming by co-signing he means that he was also on the note, he is 100% personally liable for all sums borrowed, because it's a joint and several thing. Both parties are borrowing. Both parties are 100% liable. If the thing goes south, the bank can come 20/80, 30/70, 100 and 0.
Whoa. Give us what does that mean? 20/80, 30/70.
Okay. If you are jointly and severally liable, the bank will usually go against both y'all evenly, but they have the ability to go against one party not at all and the other party for all of it. Yeah. So if Celeste dies, the bank is not required to try and get the money out of Celeste or Celeste's estate. They can go against the cosigner 100%.
I cannot emphasize enough too, if you co-sign for your children or someone else, make them send you the payment.
Oh, yeah.
And then you make the payment each month, because you might get a surprise in the mail that there's a foreclosure, and then your credit is absolutely ruined. You haven't Oh, it's terrible.
And there's an addition to that. Co-signing the loan, you're crazy if you don't go on the deed. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you're not on the deed, you are 100% liable for a debt. And 0% owner of the collateral.
Of the collateral.
And that'd be crazy.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's recap here. This went in one direction, but we've steered it into another direction, which I think is equally as important. For any parent who's listening to us who says, listen, our son Jimmy's going to want to buy a house, and why don't we be a cosigner to help him establish his credit? But you're saying you do that with eyes open, and don't send Jimmy part of the payment if that is part of the deal. have Jimmy send it to you as the
Yeah,
Well, that's the payment
is,
letter,
yeah.
so that you know whether or not the payments are being made. And I imagine most banks can do duplicates, or you can set up an online account where you can get onto it as well. But I will occasionally get the phone call from folks getting divorced, and they're going to say, "Hey, I'm going to quit claim the property over to my spouse," and I'll say, "Were you on the note?" And if they were on the note and they quit claim the property over to the spouse, they are 100% liable for the loan and 0% owner. Which just isn't a good scenario.
Not a good position to be in. But and the spouse isn't necessarily going to be able to put it in his or her name separately,
Bingo.
which is a
That's
bigger
why
problem,
you
right?
only do it when they can refinance it and make that take away that liability. In addition, the deed that he co-signed with Celeste ought to take a look at that deed and see if he wasn't on there. Most mortgage companies will require whoever's on the note to be on the deed.
Yeah.
That's typically the case. And if he's on the deed with her, it may be joint survivorship. He may be 100% owner of the property and 100% owner of the debt. So,
she passes away. Yeah.
Right. So it's just a matter of looking at the deed and figuring it out from there.
Randy, you wanted to add something?
Well, I mean, our children are wonderful, but if Jimmy has a terrible month on DraftKings and he can't pay the note the next month, I mean, somebody got to pay it.
Jimmy's going to have more than a terrible month on DraftKings if I find out my son is doing that.
Yeah, better. Listen, if your son or daughter, a little piece of advice, and Randy's going to jump on board. I'm sure Chuck will as well. If they've got a credit issue with them not being able to purchase a home, the better play might be to get them to a credit counselor to get their credit in order to be able to purchase, rather than you putting yourself, unless you go in eyes open and say, okay, I'm going to do this one way or another.
Sometimes they don't qualify because of debt to income, but they're okay, and there's just so many scenarios. But it's just the one thing is, if you're on the note and you have got to be the one controlling the payment. That's the bottom line. After all we said all this, which Chuck went into the divorces and everything else, I could tell you story after story after story. It's terrible. I mean, what could happen? What could happen? I'm not saying it does most of the time, but what could?
All right. If you want to see what sellers are saying about us at the closing table, we've got some interesting interviews the past couple of weeks. Go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. There's more than 100 of these interviews I've done. It's LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. When we come back, folks, some easy ways to protect your home from break-ins this fall and winter is important. Staying with us, Chuck Crosby, owner of the Crosby Law Offices. They do real estate closings, wills, which are so important. Living wills and foreclosure defense. Give Chuck a call, 499-6360. Also, Randy Rocky, co-owner of Swan Financial. They shop alone, get you the best rate. You can reach Randy anytime, 645-0736. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I'd love to help you. It's really free, no obligation. And I'll come out. It's me. We talk as long as you want about the plan, the process, what you can do or don't need to do to get the home on the market and sold at your time level and whatever price point you think is going to work for you. We'll talk about it. You can reach me 376-5483. That's 376-LIVE, or go to WeSellLouisville.com. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show here with you till the top of the hour. Thank you, Barbara Corcoran, who's a mentor, and she is one of the stars of Shark Tank and is a great lady and a good investor as well. Thanks for the endorsement. Continuing with us, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. They shop alone, get you the very best rate, and this time when rates seem to be falling, I mean, they tick up a little bit, they go back down. You want to check with Randy, 645-0736. If you're thinking of buying a home and you need a place to get the home loan closed, I recommend Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices. Not only do they do real estate closings, they do wills, powers of attorney, durable powers of attorney, commissioner sales. The list goes on. You can reach Chuck, 499-6360. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I'd love to help you. No home too big, no home too small. I work in Louisville, Southern Indiana, surrounding areas. You can reach me for a free, no obligation meeting. You can meet here at my office or at your house or even at a coffee shop. 376-5483. And I should point out, we also do Zoom calls as well. 376-LIVE, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. Click out on the form and fill it out. Submit. All right, going to be inside for a little bit more now with the colder weather, nasty weather. There's also a question for a lot of us. How do we make our homes safer? So you're not up against those outside forces. Who knows what's going on in our world these days, right? So here's a quick list of things to primer. We've talked about things in the past, but this is a quick list of what to kind of bring it to your front of mind so you're able to remember these types of things going into the winter. Lock every door and window. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Install deadbolt locks. That's a no-brainer. Reinforce door frames. And by that, you know those screws that go into the door frame where your latch goes in? If you look at those screws, they're probably only an inch, maybe at that. But the suggestion is uninstall those, unscrew those using maybe an electric drill, and then get longer 3-inch screws that go well into the body of the door frame so that if a burglar's going to try to kick in, it's not so easy to break into the house. Get a video doorbell, secure, make sure you got secure sliding glass doors, and then use a metal bar to keep those doors from being open just in case the lock's not working right or you forget to lock the door itself. Use motion activated lights. Install a smart security system. Don't advertise you're away if you're going on vacation. Trim shrubs near windows so you can see out. And get to know your neighbors. Let them know if you're heading out of town for a little bit. Let them know to keep an eye on your house. Also, if you can't, have a neighbor to park a car in the driveway so someone thinks that is someone's home. And then there's also beware of dog signs that you can put out there, even if you don't have a dog. And don't hide spare keys outside. Burglars know that there may be something out there, and they know where to look too, under rocks, hidden locations. Add window locks if you need to. Lock up tools and ladders when you're not using them. Use timers for lights to indicate that you might be home within the house, so lights go on and off throughout the house. Fence in your yard if that's a possibility. Install window security film to keep burglars from looking in. And post security stickers like you have ADT or one of the other burglary companies monitoring your house, even if you don't. And then ask for police for a free home security check. I didn't know that they actually do that, but apparently they do. Free home security check to let you know what maybe you might want to change if you are a little concerned about what's walking around outside. All right, we're going to go back over to our questions. And again, you can email me a question if you want on the air. Bob@WeSellLouisville.com. That's Bob@WeSellLouisville.com. All right, Randy, Rocky Savannah plans to apply for a mortgage in a month. She says it'll be her first home. And in this email she sent to us, she's wondering, what are some of the things a mortgage company looks at in order to determine if a person is eligible for a mortgage? So lenders scrutinizing the buyer's what? Where do we start? What are you looking for?
Credit score, income, and how much cash on hand. We can do no money down homes, but how much cash on hand and how much income they make, because we got to account the debt against it for the mortgage payment, and if they have credit card debt or car debt or things of that nature. Those are really the three big things: credit score, income, and amount of actual cash assets.
All right, so we're talking about buyers' financial stability. If you were to name one thing that most commonly causes a difficulty or denial of a person to get a loan, what would that be?
Credit score.
Oh, so the credit score. So, do those if you ask like one of those 3 credit companies to do a free report, there are some free reports still, right?
Well, yeah, and most things that are free, there's a reason.
Yeah, right. You're getting on the list. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. The best thing to do is call your trusted mortgage person and say, hey, I need to check my credit. Where am I at on things? Because I'm thinking about buying, or in the next 6 months. I always start about 6 months in advance is what I would do.
Oh, good tips. Okay, very good. By the way, if you are thinking about selling your home now or in the future or 6 months or next year, we've got a free no obligation booklet that will help you prepare for the sale with some 150 plus tips. Send me an email, Bob@WeSellLouisville.com, and in the subject line put selling tips, and then send that to me and I'll send it back to you. It's all via email and instant, pretty close to being instant, and we'll get you informed as to what you need to do. Chuck Crosby Law Office. Al says he listens to our show all the time. Thanks, Al. He wrote this question to us via email specifically for you, Chuck.
Oh.
Chuck, he says, you sound like a well-informed attorney. No, I think we all agree with that.
Oh, Lord.
He's wondering, have there ever been any, Brandy would say that, have there ever been any unusual closings where something happened that frazzled you? He says
frazzled me.
Yeah, right. He says he bought a home several months ago where the seller, who lived in the house, broke down, started crying because of the memories that she was leaving behind. And that got him thinking, is that common, or are there other closing problems that you, Chuck, have faced?
It's a little more common for, daughters selling dad's house after he's passed,
Ah,
the house they grew up in, and the common. It's not. I should say it's not uncommon to have people crying, and sometimes out of happiness. I've seen buyers crying, but when somebody comes into my office, it's like you're coming into my home. It's you're going to sit at my table. We're going to talk. We're going to be human. So somebody starts crying, you get them a beverage, you get them some tissues. If they really are having problems, we have other rooms we can go into, that kind of thing. But frazzling, I don't think I've ever been frazzled. Even what was it? My favorite one, where chairs got thrown.
oh,
That was a night to behold.
wow.
Yeah,
All right.
it was the third of three back-to-backs. A buys from B then buys from C, and C buys from D. Couple D were getting a divorce, and he was this 6 foot plus gentleman. Wife was, barely 5 feet, and they started snipping at each other. Well, finally, he just tossed some pens at her, and then that wasn't good enough, and she made a snide comment. So he picked up a chair and he flung it at her, and then he marched out into the parking lot to leave. And it's like, wait a minute, if this closing doesn't go, then all the others don't go either. So I immediately went out. We talked for a while, calmed him down, and then got him back inside to sign, and then he left. But they always work out. One day I'll tell you about the time going out into a field where I was required to stand for 30 minutes prior to the gentleman coming out of the bushes and way out in Paytona, Kentucky. He had warrants out against him, I guess, wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have him arrested. I just wanted a signature on a deed.
All right, we move on.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I have one real quick. So
Go.
Chuck did a closing 3 months ago for us, and the very next day, the person who sold the house, the daughter just walks in their house, and they go, "What are you doing?" They go, "Well, I just got to pick up a few things." They go, "You don't own this house anymore."
Yeah.
I mean, literally, just thought it was no big deal. Just walked right in their home.
Wow.
Yeah.
It happens. It does happen.
It does.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting field, Bob. I mean, we're dealing with people, and
Sure.
in reality, moving is like buying and selling, moving in, moving out. It's among some of the most stressful things you'll ever do. It brings out our idiosyncrasies.
Oh, there's no question. Mortgages are boring. It's the people that make it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
We probably should do a whole show on unusual things that have happened to all of us in our careers, but we'll go that another time, right? A reminder, you can listen and watch a replay of this show. You go to LouisvilleAnswers.com, and then that'll take you to our YouTube channel where these shows are. And then if you want to just listen to or see the questions as well, we break them up into questions. You can go to LouisvilleQuestions.com. So LouisvilleAnswers.com, LouisvilleQuestions.com. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Mike has put a contract on an older home that has been pre-approved, and he's been pre-approved for an FHA loan. He says in the email that he sent us, and it's bob@WeSellLouisville.com is the email address. They've gone through inspections and worked out any potential problems, but the appraiser went out and found several problems that the appraiser denied the loan until the items were repaired. Right. And I mean, we've seen these things. Mike says the seller's refusing to make the repairs. I think there's a paint, he says, that has to go on where there's some peeling of paint.
Usually on the windows.
Outside flaking. Yeah. He says he's already put more than $800 into the purchase of the home between the inspection and the appraisal fees. And he doesn't want the deal to fall apart or die. He says, what can he do if the appraiser won't budge and the seller won't budge?
Well, I don't know what he can do. I guess he can. I don't know, because I've never been asked. I don't know if he can legally go in and repair. Do you know, Chuck? Can they go in and legally
let me tell you
repair?
what we've suggested. And Chuck, you advise us on this, okay? What we've told clients where this has happened is first we get the approval of the seller to do the work. And then we have the buyer or someone, a handyman that the buyer employs. Buyer pays for this, in this case, Mike.
Right.
And then the handyman, or Mike in this case, goes in and does the touch-up paint.
Right.
The risk is to the seller where the stuff is not done correct. But I don't think a buyer is going to intentionally make a mess of something.
That's right.
You've got to get the seller's permission going through the seller's agent. Have your agent.
That's right.
Got that?
There's a couple of problems with that.
Okay.
If it's a VA loan, going in and doing repairs and paying for them by the buyer is forbidden.
Forbidden, yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do it. On FHA loans, I'm not entirely certain whether it's forbidden, but I wouldn't do it without the lender saying it's okay.
Right.
Because then you're getting into all the little fine print that says, hey, these are the numbers, this is what was paid, et cetera, et cetera. But now we've got something over here that we've paid in relation to this deal that the lender may not know about, and that's always a problem. In a cash deal, absolutely, all day long. That's
not a problem. But then it would be an FHA appraiser doing the questions on.
Right.
But
right.
all right, so Chuck, let me just fast track this here because we're out of time.
Yeah.
So, am I wrong in saying if Mike went to the seller on the side and said, "Hey, let me do this and we can get this closed," and the agents don't know about it, the banks don't know about it, the attorneys, is there a side little handshake that can be done to get the deal going forward?
The quick answer is whenever your question includes on the side, it's probably wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Probably. However, I have seen it done where the work is done by whomever's person, but the bill is paid on the settlement statement. So if you have like a contractor that works with you, that you've got a good relationship with and that trusts you to pay him, they can go in and then have the bill paid as part of the seller's fees from the seller's money.
They will have the buyer, if the buyer has the money, put $5,000 in escrow for what you're talking about, Chuck.
If the buyer has the money. But
if they don't have the money.
Yeah, no. But this is a FHA loan. I've got to presume they don't have the money. That's why they're going for it. So it's a catch-22. Mike, how you handle it is up to you. But we've given you some ideas of some of the things you could possibly do. All right, we're out of time. My thanks to Randy Rocky Swan Financial. They do a great job of shopping the loan to get you the very best deal that's out there. You can reach Randy and his team at 645-0736. Also, my thanks to Chuck Crosby, the owner of the Crosby Law Offices. They do a wealth of things. I mean, we're not just talking about a great job at real estate closings, but he does wills, which are so important, living wills, healthcare, circuit help, powers of attorney, specific powers of attorney, the list goes on. You can reach Chuck 499-6360. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I'd love to help you. No home too big, no home too small. I work in Louisville, Southern Indiana, surrounding counties. You can reach me for a free, no obligation discussion, whether it's by phone or by Zoom or in person, which I do all the time. 376-5483. That's 376-LIVE. Or go to bobsellslouisville.com and fill out the form, hit submit. And then also for a free, no obligation estimate of what your home is worth, you can go to WeSellLouisville.com, click on the top of the page. We're out of time. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.